Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the gymnasium here at Milford High School as Milford TV is proud to present coverage of girls high school basketball tonight. It is your Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks taking on the visiting Foxboro Lady Warriors. It is a tall task for the home team tonight as Foxboro comes in with an impressive record on the season of 12-2. They've already sewn up a playoff spot, and they have been one of the top teams in the league, a very prolific offense there in Foxboro. So Milford is going to have to really bring their A game tonight. It is senior night. The seniors here on the squad getting honored pregame, so a nice moment here, and we hope a nice moment out on the court once the game starts as well. Anthony Mazzini will join me on the broadcast in just a few short minutes as we bring you the opening tip next here on Milford TV. Right back here inside the Milford Gymnasium as we are about set for game time. It is game one of what is a doubleheader on the schedule tonight between the Milford teams and the Foxboro teams. The girls varsity teams getting it started. It is Tim Coet and Anthony Mazzini on the call for Milford TV. The seniors for both of these teams getting honored pregame, but now it is time to go to work as we are officially underway. Foxboro controls the ball to open this game. And a quick inside move for Cassidy Harrison, but the shot doesn't fall. And now Kate Irwin will bring the ball back up the floor. Jillian Burley inserted into the starting lineup for this game. She takes the shot off the mark, and Foxboro back up the floor. Just a little over a week ago, we watched this Milford team take a tough loss to Oliver Ames, a game that they started out very strong offensively, Anthony, but the offense just kind of dried up as the game went along.
Yeah, they really played well that game, and like you said, they started off on a great run. They were playing great offense, great defense, but as the game moved along, I don't know if it was fatigue or if they just couldn't buy a basket, but they started to fall apart and were able to, we're not able to come out with a win in that game.
Irwin saves the ball from going out of bounds. And it's Assam who's able to get the first points for Milford. We're tied up at 2. Two seniors in the starting lineup tonight for Milford as Foxboro takes the 3 and misses, and then the foul under the basket. Captain Gabby Assam out there in the starting lineup for Milford, as is Joanne Flory up from the JV team for senior night tonight. Unfortunately, the third senior on this roster unable to play tonight. That is Clarissa Miares, still dealing with that knee issue, and that was actually something, Anthony, that popped up in that game that we covered against Oliver Ames. That happened towards the end of the third quarter. She did not come back in that game and hasn't played since, and so unfortunately it looks like the end of her senior season is going to end earlier than she would have liked.
Yeah, I'm still confused as to what happened with that injury. It looked like a normal shot. Yeah, she was a little awkward going up, but she didn't appear to be in any pain originally. But it's an injury, it's going to happen, and unfortunately she's not able to be out here for her senior night and maybe for the rest of the season.
Foxboro tracks down the loose ball in the corner as they lead by a point. Connecting on one of those free throws. Now it's Catherine Tamaleonis throwing the ball up. No good. Catherine Tamaleonis is right now the leading scorer in girls basketball for the Hockomock League, so that is a name that you may very well hear frequently over the course of the night. Actually, 2 members of the Tamaleonis family on this varsity squad for Foxboro. Younger sister Grace, just a freshman making the varsity team, so a talented basketball family in Foxboro. Jillian Burley goes down hard, trying to track that ball down, and it will be Milford basketball. Still 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Irwin may have dribbled that ball out of bounds.
Looked like there might have been a blocking foul before that, but Foxboro was able to get possession back.
The full list of starters in this game: Kate Irwin, Gabby Assam, Emily Pierre-Gustavo, Jillian Burley, and Joanne Flory for Milford. And for Foxboro, Cassidy Harrison, Kristen Bortolotti, Catherine Rathgeb, Catherine Tamaleonis, and Kirsten Warner. As Pierre-Gustavo lets the shot go just off the mark, and we stay frozen at 3-2. And another foul going against the Lady Hawks. Bortolotti right back to the line. She's able to knock down the first shot, as I mentioned, in the open. Foxboro an impressive 12-2 on the season. They are already assured of a trip to the upcoming MIAA playoff tournament. Milford, on the other hand, comes in with an overall record of 5-9. They call for the jump ball under the basket. It will stay with Milford.
And it's great for Foxboro to know that they're already in the tournament. They can play these last few games and really work out some rough edges, get some younger players some time that they might need to step up and play a bigger role in the tournament. So it's great that they have that early notice that they're going to be in the tournament, and they get to play these games almost like scrimmages. They get to work out some things, like I said, and it should be a good work for them.
Kate Irwin doing a nice job of opening up that shot for Emily Pierre-Gustavo, and that ties the game up at 5. It looked like her foot may have been on the line, but they did award her the three-pointer. Milford lets it go out of bounds. Heads up play by Pierre-Gustavo, who had a very nice game last time out for the Lady Hawks, a game that Milford was able to come away with a win against the Canton Lady Bulldogs. Another shot from Pierre-Gustavo for 3, and she drains this one as well. 6 quick points on the score sheet for Pierre-Gustavo. Milford up 7-5, and now the three-pointer the other way. I believe that was Bortolotti. The lead flip-flops back into Foxboro's favor. Nicole Dahlgren into the game as Gabby Assam went to the bench a few moments ago. It will stay Milford basketball with 12 seconds left on the shot clock, 3:58 to go, and what has been a pretty quick first quarter of play so far. Burley gets it into Dahlgren. Dahlgren, the bounce pass to Irwin. Irwin drives baseline. The ball ricochets out of play. Last touch by Foxboro, so Milford basketball with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. They'll need to get something going in a hurry here. Back out to Dahlgren, 3 seconds to go. And Dahlgren commits the turnover.
She was put in a tough situation there. She got the ball. Wasn't a clean pass, but she had enough time to take a shot, but the pressure got to her a little bit.
And talk about turnovers, that was certainly one of the big problems in the loss against Oliver Ames that we covered here in the gym a couple of days ago. Anthony, that's something that this team, as they continue to get more experience here at the varsity level, they're going to have to try to keep under control.
Yeah, and it's certainly understandable why they're having a problem with turnovers. I mean, when you look at their roster, only 2 seniors, 3 tonight, but 2 for the majority of the season. And when you got a young team like this, obviously you encourage them not to commit turnovers. But it's a part of the game. And when you're young and you don't have the experience at the high level that these girls are playing at, it's going to be a problem early on. But looking forward, next year, 2 years from now, when these girls are a little older, a little more mature, that should be a problem that works itself out.
Pierre-Gustavo at the line. She missed her first. Misses them both. Now it's Tamleonis driving inside, kicks it back out. Wide open shot in the near wing, no good from Ashley Sampson, a freshman. This is a team that can spread the offense around. Certainly Catherine Tamilionis, someone to watch as she dishes off that pass. Tamilionis with 28 points to lead all scorers. The last time these two teams met earlier this season, that was a 67-38 loss for Milford.
And even watching her just these first couple minutes, she just looks like a scorer. She's moving without the ball. She's coming off screens. Even though she hasn't scored many baskets yet in this game, she looks great. She knows where she needs to be on the court, how to get open, and she's probably primed to have another great night tonight.
Right now, all the points on the Foxboro side belong to Kristen Bortolotti. She has scored all 11 for the Lady Warriors. Foxboro with the 11-7 lead at this point. Still 2:17 to go in the opening quarter. Foxboro will inbound from just beyond their own bench. Milford already set up defensively. Foxboro looking for that open look, dangerous pass, just saved by Siobhan Nolan. Shot clock winding down, and another three, this time knocked down by Ashley Sampson. Sampson had 10 points against Milford in that matchup in Foxboro earlier in the year. Dahlgren now receives the tough pass and another turnover. She's been handcuffed a couple of times here early. Down to the final 90 seconds of this first quarter. Foxboro now up by 7.
Foxboro looks extremely comfortable in their offense. Passing the ball well, getting open, and ultimately they work the clock down and they get a good shot.
The foul going on Tamilionis. A quick substitution here as Jillian Burley goes to the bench. Still plenty of time on the shot clock as we tick down to the final minute of play here in the quarter. They find the open shooter. It's Nolan just underneath the basket, gets the easy look. Milford trying to keep pace with this high-powered Foxboro offense here in the first quarter. Now 16-7, the Warriors lead it. Irwin's shot misses. Juliana Tracy fighting for the rebound, but it's Foxboro who comes up with it. Now Tracy takes a bit of a spill at center court. Shot clock turned off now as we're under 20 seconds to go. Milford looking to attack a few more points on the scoreboard, but a bad pass. Liskoff tried to save it.
I think she did.
Looked like she did just get it to go off of Tamilionis. So good heads-up play there by Emma Liskoff, the sophomore. 5 seconds to go. It's Irwin driving to the basket, looking for the foul. But instead they'll call the turnover. Irwin disagrees. Foxboro now has 1.8 seconds to try to get a final shot away. The pass up and over the head, and now it's Milford who gets the final shot. Pierre Gustavo just off the mark. Nice job by Pierre Gustavo to even get that shot away, but it does not count, and we end this first quarter of play with Foxboro in the lead by a score of 16-7. So a lot of up and down the floor action here early on. We'll take a quick break and have the start of the second quarter next here on Milford TV. Back for the start of the second quarter here in Milford. Foxboro leads it over the Lady Hawks by a score of 16-7. And again, Anthony Milford doing all they can to sort of match Foxboro shot for shot, but it is certainly going to be a tough task all night. We've already seen now the multiple threats that Foxboro has on the offensive side of the floor.
Yeah, they just don't look all that comfortable yet. On defense, Foxboro just seems to be eating them alive with passing and cutting. And on the offensive end, they just can't seem to find open shots. So Foxboro is doing a great job on both ends of the floor.
Here it's Emma Liskoff at the free throw line. Can't get the bounce on the first shot. So now an 8-point lead. Good block inside. Dahlgren comes up with the loose ball.
Yeah, that was a great block by, I believe, Emma Liskoff. She got beat, but she was able to get back and was able to get the block from behind.
And Dahlgren with the bucket. Milford going on a little bit of a mini run here to start the second quarter, now down to a 6-point lead for Foxboro. Lily Sykes into the game, another freshman on the varsity squad. Shot hits off the rim. Dahlgren quickly up the floor, goes all the way to the basket, just cannot get the elevation, but it will stay Milford basketball. Burley to inbound, 6:23 to go in the half. Long inbounds pass makes its way to Pierre Gustavo. She dishes off to Irwin, who takes the three and drains it.
We saw her make a bunch of those last game that we covered against Oliver Ames. Hopefully she can bring that same intensity and same shooting stroke to tonight's game, excuse me.
Down to just a 3-point lead. Tamilionis looking for an open pass. Now they quickly get it inside, back out from 3. Sykes' shot is off the mark here. Now is Irwin, and she gets fouled, and this crowd really starting to come to life. A good boost of energy to start off this second quarter for Milford. Foxboro's going to call the timeout. So just a moment ago, we were talking about how Milford was struggling to find those open shots, but they're really creating some good offense here early in the second.
Yeah, whatever head coach Cullen had to say during that break between the first and second quarter must have got Milford's blood going, because they really have come to play here in this second quarter.
On a 6-0 run to start this second quarter of play. As now both squads talk it over again. It is Tricia Cullen, who is the head coach for the Milford Lady Hawks. The head coach for Foxboro is Lisa Downs. Kate Irwin with a big 3 here in the second quarter so far. Nicole Dahlgren with a nice shot as well. Emily Pierre Gustavo with 5 points back in the first quarter. Gabby Assam with the other points in the first. Again, Milford coming in with a little bit of a momentum boost from their last game. It's been a little crazy to get these basketball games in of late with all of the weather conditions that these teams have been contending with. Milford last played all the way back on January 30th. That was a 48-26 win over Canton. So a week off in between games. A chance to work on things in practice if they were even able to have practice, which obviously the school schedule has been disrupted as well.
Yeah, this weather's great for if you don't want to have school, but it's it's bad for if you want to be playing sports. So I'm pretty sure these girls were stuck in the middle between those two options, but it's great to get back on the floor here.
The giveaway by Milford, and Tamaleonis makes them pay with her first points of the night. They come all the way here, almost midway through the second quarter. And the bucket for Milford. Could not quite see who got that last shot as I was shielded momentarily.
I think it was Nicole Dahlgren from the elbow.
So that went up Dahlgren's point total here in the second quarter to 4. As Foxboro gets the floater through the lane. Both members of the Tamaleonis family out on the floor now as the second quarter goes on. Milford, meanwhile, called for the travel. 4:57 to play in the half. It's now a 5-point lead for Foxboro. Now Tamaleonis again, they commit 3 defenders. They call the foul against Milford. The fans hate it. Coach Cullen hates it.
I don't really like it either, Tim. That looked like a clean block all the way. Hands were straight up, but Foxboro gets rewarded.
And the shot rattles through for Cassidy Harrison. Her first notch on the score sheet. She misses the second. Now here's Irwin passing to Liskov. Shot just does not go. The off-balance layup for Foxboro, no good. They wrestle the ball out of the grasp of Nicole Dahlgren, and Kirsten Warner connects. Back up to an 8-point lead. Now the 3 for Irwin, no good. So Foxboro settling things back down and even getting a very friendly bounce at the rim for that 3-point shot. And now Coach Cullen is going to call the timeout as Foxboro has very quickly turned what was just a 3-point lead into now an 11-point lead. So that just goes to show you, Anthony, how quickly this Foxboro offense can go to work.
Yeah, it seemed like with a blink of an eye, Milford just went down by 11. They were down by 3 a couple moments ago, and like I said, in a blink of an eye, it just drastically changed. And this Foxboro offense was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the second quarter, but they seem to find their stroke again.
And just a lot of good shooters on the floor. It's one thing when you know you've got one top-notch player that you've got to focus on the defensive side, but at any point you've got 3, 4, or 5 serious offensive weapons out on the floor for the Lady Warriors that you have to contend with.
Yeah, and that's a great luxury for Foxboro and a nightmare for opposing teams.
This is a Foxboro team that's really made great strides in a relatively short period of time. They were under 500 in league play last year. Ended up with a final overall record of 12-11. But a much different story this year, just 2 losses on the season. 3-point shot from Pierre Gustavo. So again, Milford getting a boost coming out of the timeout. 3:39 to play in the half. The Lady Hawks in need of some defensive stops. But meanwhile, Tamaleonis is fouled on the way by. Foxboro now in the bonus. She misses the first shot. Dahlgren scoops up the rebound. Now Pierre Gustavo dishes off to Burley. Her shot well off the mark. Ball just grazed a Foxboro player on the way out of bounds. They've had trouble with these inbounds passes under the basket. Burley in panic mode. Ball ends up out of play. They do say last touch by Foxboro. This time they were able to get it in cleanly to Emily Pierre Gustavo. Coming down to 3 minutes to play in the half. There's Liskoff. She takes the foul. So this will give Milford the chance to inbound with a fresh shot clock. Right off the inbounds, it's Jillian Burley. Good looking play, but just couldn't knock down the bucket. Dahlgren pokes the ball loose, but Foxboro recovers, leading 26-18. The pass nearly stolen by Irwin, but Foxboro recovers. The Warriors commit the travel. These fans really showing a lot of support to the Lady Hawks here in the first half. Burley pinned down in the corner. She gets the pass away to Irwin, but they call the travel. Foxboro taking their time now, under 2.5 minutes to play until we reach halftime. The bank shot from Harrison. Now here's Burley. She tries to go high off the glass. An even 10-point lead again for Foxboro. Pass last touched by Foxboro goes out of play. Liskoff will inbound with 1:50 to go. Foxboro really making Milford work for every single one of these inbounds passes.
Yeah, they've struggled on most inbounds passes, and what shocks me is that Foxboro isn't the tallest team when you compare the two. I think they're just quicker and maybe a little bit more athletic, and they just are able to stay with their girl long enough that Milford is able to throw the ball away or commit a 5-second violation.
Catherine Rathgeb, one of the Foxboro captains. Now here's Burley, gives way to Dahlgren. Good bounce.
We've seen a lot of good bounces here tonight. Wonder if they did something to the rims before the game.
I don't know if you get a better bounce with a less inflated basketball, but we won't get into that sort of thing. Down to 1:13, 30-20. The Lady Warriors lead it. Active hands in the passing lanes, and they will say that that one grazed the fingertips of Milford before it went out of play.
Some very upset fans.
They've been into this game right from the opening tip.
They have. It's been one of the largest crowds for one of these games that I've seen so far this season.
Now it's Bortolotti. She's racked up the points in this first half. Under a minute to go. And now the steal from Siobhan Nolan. From 3-point range, Tamaleonis can't connect. Pierre Gustavo pinned down by 2 defenders. She gets fouled. 31.2 left on the clock. Burley into Kate Irwin. Irwin nearly turning it over, but recovers. Here's Dahlgren with the quick catch and shoot. No good. Second chance points there for Christine Pye. 10 seconds left. Tamaleonis driving inside. She gets the floater. Chance for one more shot, possibly for Milford. And Irwin was defended well all the way. Tried to throw up a prayer, but it wasn't close. And that is how the first half comes to an end. So you really have to credit the fight that Milford has had so far in this first half, Anthony. They do head into halftime down by 12, but they really have not rolled over for what is a very tough opponent.
Absolutely, they've really played their hearts out here in this first half, and like you said, they are down by a good margin, 12 points, but they have shown spurts of excellent offense and excellent defense, and hopefully they can be a little bit more consistent in the second half.
So Foxboro will head into halftime with a 34-22 lead. But certainly something interesting to keep in mind, Milford was only able to score a total of 38 points against Foxboro when they played them earlier in the year, so a better offensive showing so far. They'll look to continue to make those adjustments at halftime. We will have the start of the third quarter when we return here on coverage of girls high school basketball on Milford TV. Welcome back inside Milford High School as we get set for second half action between the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks and the Foxboro Lady Warriors. Foxboro with the 34-22 lead. Tim Coet and Anthony Mazzini here on the call for Milford TV. An entertaining first half of play, a lot of points scored on both sides. Catherine Tamaleonis, the leading scorer for Foxboro throughout the season. She came to life in that second quarter with 7 points. And there she is from 3, knocking it down right on cue to open up this third quarter up to a 37-point total for the Lady Warriors.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, she either didn't score in the first quarter or only had 1 basket. So early on here, getting that first basket in the third quarter early is maybe going to spark her for a big performance.
And the big cheer for Joanne Fleury, who gets her first varsity points. The 2 seniors out on the floor once again to start the second half. Fleury along with Gabby Assam. Again, if you're just joining the broadcast, unfortunately Clarissa Miara is unable to play due to a knee injury. But all 3 seniors honored pregame. (37-24). They feed Assam inside, trying to draw the foul. She gets it. Coach Cullen continues to be very conservative with Gabby Assam's minutes as she comes off of a knee injury of her own.
Yeah, there hasn't been much luck for these seniors this year. Clarissa was able to play the majority of the season, but obviously this is an important game for her, one she'd definitely like to be in. And Gabby, she missed the majority at the beginning of the season and is still getting her minutes limited. So not much luck for these seniors, but they're strong leaders and supportive, and they help the team in other ways other than being on the court.
12-point lead now for Foxboro. As Milford was called for the foul. They look for the quick 3 off the inbounds from Bartolotti. She ends up passing it up. Now the ball back in her hands. Back outside for Tamaleonis. Her shot just off the mark, and now the foul. almost seemed as though they used Catherine Tamilionis as a decoy in the first half to get Bortolotti some easy looks, and now they're kind of switching roles here early on in the second half.
Absolutely. And having the luxury of having multiple scorers on a team, it gives you an advantage night in and night out. You can have all three score. You could have two score and one be a passer. You could have two be a passer and one be a scorer. You can decoy. You can do a lot of things when you have a lot of talent on a team. In Foxboro, like I said, they have that luxury.
That's Kirsten Warner at the line, 1 for 2. The 3 from Pierre Gustavo. She can't connect, but looks like Juliana Tracy may have gotten fouled under the basket. Jillian Burley to inbound, and as we've already mentioned, these inbounds passes have not been a gimme for Milford. They're able to get this one. And a good look from 3 from Kate Irwin, and she knocks it down. 6 points on the night for Irwin. Every time it looks as though Foxboro may be starting to pull away, Milford comes up with a couple of quick buckets to at least keep that deficit right around 10.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Milford, they aren't able to keep that run going. Foxboro always gets a reasonable lead. Milford comes back, and just when you think they're going to limit the lead to a couple points, Foxboro is able to come back and build the lead up again.
Out of bounds, last touched by Milford. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 5:05 to go in this third quarter. It's Tamilionis. Her shot a little short, but collecting the rebound was Rathgeb, and then she gets fouled.
Been a few questionable calls here in this game. That one looked like a clean block as well. But obviously the official has the last say.
Rathgeb short on the first attempt. And is able to knock down the second. The lead 11. Irwin commits the turnover. A quick catch and shoot off the inbounds. Nolan off the mark. Now they pin Gabby Assam down in the backcourt. She's able to get the pass away to Emily Pierre Gustavo. Now the long leading pass for Burley. She gets it back. Now on the run, it's Pierre Gustavo, and she gets fouled. Wasn't exactly textbook ball movement from Milford, but it got the job done.
Yeah, it might have confused Foxboro a little bit there. They didn't know necessarily where the ball was going. Whatever works, that's all that matters.
Pierre Gustavo knocks down her first. A chance now to cut the lead to single digits. And she does. (39-30), 4.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. The near steal by Burley. She gets it and then gives it right back. Now Tamilionis from 3. Six points in this third quarter now for Tamilionis. Now Pierre Gustavo trying to work her way inside. Shot no good, gets it back. Now hard contact, Juliana Tracy and Jillian Burley both going down.
Looks like Tracy slid into Burley there. Little friendly fire.
I think they called the foul on Tracy.
Foul on Milford against Milford.
Coming down to 3.5 minutes to play now. Again, Milford with the near steal. Shot clock winding down. And the inside move from Sampson. Can't get the shot. Irwin to Pierre Gustavo, the floater too short. Foxboro saves it from going out of bounds, and now they head back up the floor. Tamleonis fouled on the way by. Pierre Gustavo committing the foul.
That's a move that often goes under the radar from Tamleonis. She started off going extremely fast, slowed down her pace, and then accelerated to the hoop. Just causes the defender to not necessarily what pace they're going to go at. They're kind of flat-footed, and next thing you know, they're by you.
Irwin up the floor, quick feed to Tracy. Can't get the layup. And we mentioned Catherine Tamleonis, the top scorer in the Hockomock League. She averages 15.8 points per game. Just a tick better than Emily Sullivan of King Philip, averages 15.6. Kate Irwin, 8th on that list, averaging 11 points per game. Foxboro going back and forth with Sykes and Sampson. Burley again, active hands, gets the steal. Assam gets it into the hands of Irwin. The long pass to Dahlgren. And that one went behind the hoop. Looks like it went through, but it just brushed the netting on the way by. It will stay Milford basketball, however. Burley has her shot blocked by Ashley Sampson. But now the steal on the other side of the floor. Tough pass. Milford almost gets away with it, and they call the travel. And again, Coach Cullen irate on the sidelines.
She's halfway out on the court.
It has been a Milford-friendly crowd. It has not exactly been a Milford-friendly officiating crew. That one off of Foxboro, but they're able to save it from going out of bounds. A minute 49 to go.
I wonder what goes through an official's mind when you have parents and fans yelling at you. I've always wondered that.
It seems as though different officials may deal with it in different ways. A lot of them try to just block it out, but I have seen a few on occasion who will react to it, which I feel like is probably not the way to go.
Not the best option, but for an athlete, provides a little comedy in the middle of a contest. I've seen a few of those myself, and sometimes it's hard to hold back a few chuckles.
Ashley Sampson knocking down both free throws. 46-33 now the score. Less than 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. Burley can't handle the pass. It ends up out of bounds. long three from Tamaleonis, count it. That, I believe, is the third three-pointer she has had in this third quarter.
Yeah, she's come alive here in this second half. Milford hasn't found an answer yet.
Up to 17 points on the night. And they call yet another traveling violation against Milford. This one with 1:03 to go in the quarter. And that one rattles through for Grace Tamaleonis. Up to 49-33. A 16-point lead for Foxboro. This one ends up in the hands of Dahlgren. Ill-advised bounce pass to Tracy. It does stay with Milford, 32.6 to go. It looked like at first they were going to allow the late substitution by Foxboro, but now they wave it off. They were going to send Tamaleonis to the bench, but she stays out there. Milford will head to the free throw line. It's Gabby Assam. This Foxboro offense averages 52.3 points per game. It would seem as though with an entire quarter still to play that they are going to go well above that average tonight.
Unless something serious happens to their offense.
16 seconds to go. Milford plays it ahead to Irwin. That's a nice roll around the rim. Now 3 seconds, Foxboro looking for that last shot, but they commit the travel. 1.5 left for Milford to get it up the floor.
Milford's got to do something quick here.
They try to toss it ahead to Jillian Valenzola. That one took a hard ricochet into the stands.
I think it hit a spectator off the head.
They have one last chance. Pierre Gustavo puts up a desperation shot, not close. So the end of the third quarter, an impressive third quarter for the Foxboro offense. They take a 51-35 lead into the fourth. A quick break and we will begin the fourth quarter action when we return here on Milford TV. Back for the fourth quarter here in Milford. Foxboro with the 16-point advantage. I did mention right before we broke at the end of the third quarter, it was a good offensive period for Foxboro. It was an equally impressive offensive period for Milford. "13 points for Milford in that third quarter. Dahlgren quickly to the free throw line. But Foxboro outscoring Milford 17-13 in that third quarter and has allowed them to build up a 16-point lead. Coming up shortly after the conclusion of this game, it will be senior night for the boys basketball team, taking on their counterparts from Foxboro. We will have that coverage here on Milford TV as well. So now things slowing down to open up this fourth quarter. A couple of trips to the free throw line early. That time it was Grace Tamleonis for Foxboro who missed the shot. Milford losing control of the basketball underneath the basket after some good passing. Now a wide open look for Cassidy Harrison, no good. Diving for it was Dahlgren. A three-point shot misses for Bordalotti, but Foxboro able to reset again. Another missed shot. Now finally it's Tracy who's able to settle down the defensive rebound. Up ahead to Dahlgren. Can't get the layup. Good hustle for Dahlgren to get up the floor, but just couldn't finish. Just 6 minutes and 26 seconds to go in this game as Ashley Sampson comes through with the bucket. Just the first so far here in the fourth quarter. And now after the points, Foxboro calls the timeout.
Not sure what this timeout is for. They have a very, very good lead.
Up now to an 18-point advantage. So we will take the quick break. More action right out of this timeout here on Milford TV. Dahlgren gets it into Irwin out of the timeout. 6:18 to go in the game. It's an 18-point advantage for the visitors. Juliana Tracy can't connect. Dahlgren wrestles it away from Foxboro. Back into the hands of Tracy. This time she's able to come through with the bucket. First points of the night for Juliana Tracy. A lot of times those inside players don't necessarily get the credit they deserve. The work that they do doesn't always show up on the score sheet, but Tracy doing a tough job guarding underneath the basket all game long.
Yeah, all of Milford's taller girls have done a great job here tonight. And I think part of the problem for Milford is Foxboro is just a physical team down low on the block. And when they get the ball down low, when Milford gets the ball down low, then Foxboro's not necessarily fouling, but just playing physical, giving a little bump, not enough to be called a foul, but just to make Milford uncomfortable, and that's paid dividends for Foxboro here tonight.
Off the missed free throw, Christine Pye able to get the shot and a chance for a three-point play.
There's the hard work you were just talking about.
Connects on the free throw. Now Irwin almost with the steal. Foxboro loses control. The ball ends up out of play. But we'll stay with Foxboro. 5:27 to go in the game. They wave off the shot. Tamleonis called for the traveling violation. The lead is 13 now for Foxboro. Dahlgren pulls up for the shot, no good. Milford once again keeping it temptingly close here in the fourth quarter. But running out of time, just over 5 minutes to play. An easy look from just inside the free throw line for Caroline Rathgeb.
Yeah, a little too easy there for Foxboro. I wonder if Milford's starting to get a little fatigued here, or maybe frustrated from being down.
.449 left on the clock, and it looks like Coach Cullen this time calls the timeout. And Anthony, this seems like one of those games where even ultimately if Milford doesn't come through with a big comeback here in these final minutes, the way they've played out there tonight, the way they've conducted themselves against a team that's headed to the playoffs, a team that's really been at the top of their division all season long, they've hung with them and they've had some really good moments in this game. And you just, again, look at the youth of this Milford team and the experience that they're gathering over the course of this season. This is a game that they may very well win at this point next year or 2 years from now as they continue to improve and as they continue to become more and more battle tested.
Yeah, I think this is a game for the three seniors out there. I think they're really fighting hard for them because they're all playing limited minutes here tonight. Excuse me. And I think the younger guys, not younger guys, younger girls have a sense of responsibility. They need to make up for not having their leaders out on the court with them. And I think they're really playing well. And like you said, in 1, maybe 2 years, this is a game they should win. And they've really played hard here tonight. And like you said, even if they don't come away with a win, it was a great performance.
Now both teams back out on the floor, 4 minutes and 49 seconds remaining. 15-point advantage for the Lady Warriors. Foxboro able to steal the inbounds pass. No-look pass from Tamaleonis to Bordalotti. The foul ends up going against Rathgeb, right back to the line. Dahlgren to the bench. Back into the game, Emma Liskoff. Tough pass into Christine Pye. She took some contact as well from the defender. You can see Coach Cullen wondering where the foul call was.
She's always very animated on the sidelines, but on that one, she seemed to have a reason to be.
Missing the shot was Rathgeb. The ball rolling free on the floor. The foul looked to go against. Looks like they're calling it against Irwin.
Short period of sloppy, unorganized play from both teams there. I don't know what happened, but a lot happened in a short amount of time, and it was hard to keep track of.
Cassidy Harrison at the line. She makes her first. 4 points on the night so far for Harrison. About midway through this fourth quarter, the lead back up to 18 for Foxboro. Another late substitution, this time granted for Foxboro. High off the inbounds pass, she gets fouled. Both boys teams now in the house getting ready for their game, which will be coming up right after the conclusion of this one. Christine Pye, very quick release after she gets the ball for those free throws.
Yeah, it's like she doesn't even think about it. She just gets to the line and takes her shot. Most of the time it's going in.
Now it's Bortolotti at the line. Knocked down 3 of 4 shots from the free throw line in the first quarter. Hasn't been there since.
There's a lot of fans for the girls' game, but it looks like the boys' game is going to have a very large crowd tonight too. A lot of fans are already starting to pile in for that one.
Another 2 points for Christine Pye. This was originally the final scheduled home game for the boys. They will be back again over the weekend due to all of the rescheduled games due to snow as Tamleonis knocks down that shot. Easy look for Assam under the basket. Milford just refuses to go quietly in this fourth quarter. Circus shot from Pierre Gustavo, no good. Milford fights for the rebound, and Pierre Gustavo's second chance goes through.
Good hustle by Christine Pye too on a loose ball.
2:20 to play. Foxboro running down some of the clock here. The shot clock down to 5. Gabby Assam with the defensive rebound. Up ahead to Pye. Back out to Pierre Gustavo. Her shot misses. Christine Pye called for the foul. The clock stopped at 1:54 to go. Milford trying to put together one last mini rally. We've seen them do that a few times over the course of the night, but put on hold here as Mackenzie Anderson goes to the free throw line. Some of the second unit players out in the late stages of this game for Foxboro.
Yeah, barring a major comeback, this game looks like it's definitely going to go Foxboro's way.
They go just about all bench players now here, under 2 minutes to go. Tamleonis, Bortolotti all to the bench.
And for Milford, Joanne Fleury just came back in the game for some final minutes as a senior at home. (64-47) now the score as we watch the final 90 seconds unfold. This has by far been the slowest quarter as far as pacing has gone.
And the pass stolen by Sampson. Now ahead to Anderson, but Milford gets the block. And they will have the ball with 1:07 to go. Christine Pye, the turnaround shot, it bounces through. Pye up to 6 points now in this fourth quarter.
She's a very talented young player on this Milford squad as well. She also comes from a basketball family. Her sister Jess played here for a few seasons.
26 seconds left. They try to feed Fleury inside. Looks like they want to get her another shot attempt here on the night. It goes back out to Christine Pye, who knocks another one in. 10 seconds left. Milford crosses the 50-point threshold with that shot. And Foxboro will dribble out the rest of this clock. And the Foxboro Lady Warriors will walk away winners of this one tonight by a final score of 66-51. But again, this game never had the feeling of a runaway. It never had the feeling of a one-sided game. Foxboro certainly a very talented team out there, but Milford really did a terrific job all game long to stay with them as much as they could.
That's right. And like you said, there was really never any big threat of a blowout. Foxboro always would come in, they would have a reasonable lead, and Milford would claw its way back, but ultimately at the end of the night, Foxboro was able to come away with the win. And Milford, they played hard, but they weren't able to do enough tonight.
So we get things wrapped up now as the teams shake hands already now. Things starting to get turned over on the floor for the boys game coming up. So we will wrap up our coverage for this evening. A big thank you to Anthony Mazzini as well as Joey Marcello for helping out with this broadcast tonight. And I am Tim Coette, your final score one final time. Milford loses to Foxboro by a final score of 66-51. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.